How are you? Hope you are all safe and healthy. So don't go outside, don't roam outside, especially boys, and stop the spread. And in this video, as per the language classes in this video, I would like to teach, I would like to explain the first poem. The first poem from the section of poetry. It is The Table's Turn. That is, the name of the poem is The Table's Turn, written by William Wordsworth. In the section of poetry, we are given 5 poems. The first poem actually is On His Having Arrived at the Age of 23 by John Milton. But as per the 2020 and 2021, from 2020 to 21 academic year syllabus, the first poem has been deleted from the syllabus. That's why we are learning this poem. We are treating this poem as poem number 1. But in the textbook it is given as second poem. So whatever the number is, you need to learn. You should have a clear idea on the poem and how to answer the annotations and questions given in the question paper. That's what we will do. So before going into the poem in detail, let me introduce. This is Satish, working as English lecturer in Chambers Junior College English Medium, Palapur. So let's see the poem. Before learning the poem in detail, it is a thing we generally do, knowing about the poem and know the biography of poet. See who is the name of our poet? William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth. I have written some points regarding the poet on the board, and look at the board and try to understand. Wordsworth was a major English romantic poet, born in Cumberland, England, on April 7, 1770. So, our poet was a major English romantic poet. English romantic poet. Friends, you may get confused with the word romantic. So don't take the word romantic in a negative sense. What you have, the meaning of the particular word. Here, English literature. In English literature, there is a separate meaning for that word. That is, there were a group of poets. There was a school of poetry who took nature as the main subject for their poems. Who took nature as their major subject in their poems. Such group of poets are called romantic poets. So here, the word romantic means a poet who wrote poems on the subject of nature, who appreciates nature in their poems particularly. So those poets are called romantic poets. So that is the meaning we should take here. So actually it is a movement. It is an era started by a poet called William Wordsworth. Where he was born? He was born in Cumberland, England. This is the name of a place where he born, and the country name is England on April 7, 1770. So, you got the meaning about the word romantic? Right. Let's move to the second part. He is best known as nature's poet. He is best known as nature poet. He is considered as a worshipper of nature also. Worshipper of nature. Why our poet has the title? Why the title was given to our poet? Because majority of his poems deals with the subjects regarding nature, and we can say no other poet expresses presents the nature as beautiful as our poet William Wordsworth. That's why he has the title. Of course, there are some great writers who belongs to this romantic age. They are S.T. Coleridge, John Keats, P.B. Shelley. All these are great poets who belongs to that period. Okay, whatever the matter may be, it is not necessary, of course. And you should remember, he is best known as nature's poet, and you can write this point in another way as he is also considered the worshipper of nature. Worshipper means adore, who adores nature, like what we do by sitting before God, the way we worship the God. Right? Let's move to the third sentence. He started the romantic movement. I already told you. He started the romantic movement. It is an era started by our poet William Wordsworth, along with his dearest friend S.T. Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, with the publication of a great book, Lyrical Ballads. In the year 1798. So, who started the romantic movement in English literature? If anyone asks you who started the English romantic movement in English literature, the answer is there are two guys, but the credit is given to Wordsworth. The two guys who involved who are the pioneers of romantic movement are, one is William Wordsworth and the second one is S.T. Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. By to which publication the movement has started? Lyrical ballads, where a poem is also taken from that book. And these are the important things we need to remember, because if you know so many points regarding the writer, it will help you to extend your answer while writing in the public examination. Let us see his famous books, the works written by our author, our poet William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud. This is a beautiful poem, completely about beauty of nature. The second one is London 1802. And the complete, it is the one name together. So don't think it is names of the poems, it is one. London 1802. And the third one is Resolutions and Independence. And the last one is The Solitary Republic. Of course, there are many poems that internally, Daffodils are also other important poems written by writer William Wordsworth. But these are enough. It is enough for you to write 2 or 3 to extend our answer. So this is about the bio of our poet William Wordsworth. Let's see about the poem. It is a common thing what we do from the first year to know some major things regarding the poem in a brief manner. Because these are the points we generally write under the heading context. While we attempting annotation. Of course, these points are also used while writing in paragraph answer also. Right. And see the first one. The poem was first published in Lyrical Ballads in 1798. So where the poem, the table study is taken from? The table study is taken from Lyrical Ballads. It's a collection of poems also. Actually, this great masterpiece was written by two writers, our poet William Wordsworth and another great romantic poet S.T. Coleridge in the year 1770. So we can simply remember the poem, the table study is taken from the collection of poems, the Lyrical Ballads in 1790. And see the second one. What he expresses freely. In this poem, the poet himself asked his friend to leave all his books on the side and come out with him to observe and enjoy it. So we can understand the poet is the speaker. He speaks to his dearest friend. He himself speaks to his dearest friend and asks his friend to put all his books aside, to leave all his books aside, and to come along with him and enjoy nature, to observe nature, to enjoy the nature. So this is the main theme, this is the central idea. Leaving books and enjoying nature is the main idea about our poem. So these are the things that will help you to write reference and context. Or by combining these points about the author and about the poem, we can write the answer for paragraph question also, which carries 4 marks. Of course, the annotation also carries the same marks, and as I told you in the introduction video, syllabus introduction video, the question pattern is the same. 4 annotations will be given, and you need to attempt 2 out of 4, and each one carries 4. And the 4 paragraph questions will be given from this section, and you will need to write 2 out of 4. The choice will be maintained. And don't worry, the same pattern what you have attempted in the first year is followed in second year also. There is no confusion at all regarding the thing. Got it? So let's start the poem. I have written two stanzas here. The poem consists of 8 stanzas. How many stanzas the poem has? It has 8 stanzas, and each stanza has a quatrain. I mean 4 lines. A quatrain in the sense 4 lines. Poem of 4 lines is called a quatrain. So let's begin the poem here. So I told you here the poet is the speaker, and he is requesting his friend to leave the books. Before explaining in detail, let me tell you the title of the poem. Let me tell the meaning of the title of the poem. I forgot to tell you. Right. So what is the title of the poem? The tables turn. Here, the word tables turn is a phrase. Tables turn is a phrase. Haven't we learned phrases in our first year? Yes. we have that. And such type of phrase is also here. The word table turn, the phrase table turns refers to change a situation, to change a situation, to change a situation in order to get an advantage over someone. In order to get an advantage over someone. So by changing our way of thinking, we will have an advantage over something. We will have an advantage over something. Right? So that is what the phrase table turn refers. Okay. Let's turn to the first stanza. Here there are 4 lines I told you. Up, up, my friend, and quit your books. Up, up. Here the first line begins with the first 2 words of the first line begins with an exclamatory mark. Haven't you remember the symbol? The symbol indicates what we learned in the name of parts of speech is interjection. Didn't you? Yes. The exclamatory mark, the interjection. So generally, an interjection expresses a surprise or a sudden feeling, right? Yes. Here, in the first line, the poet himself is the speaker. He speaks to his friend. He is getting up. He is waking up. Who is waking up whom? The poet is waking up his friend. Up, my friend. Not exactly his friend is sleeping on the bed and he is just unwrap the blanket and try to wake up by touching, by tapping on his body. He just say, up, my friend. That means, get up, my friend. Raise up, my friend. Get up. Up, my friend. And quit your books. And quit your books. He wake up his friend. And he gave an advice in the first line itself. He asks him to quit his books. Here the word quit means leave. The word quit means leave. Give up. Abandon. So these are the synonyms for it. So what Wordsworth asking his friend here is asking him to quit your books, leave your books. Why? Why should his friend leave his books? There is a reason. Okay. Or surely you will grow double. You will grow double. So there is a problem if you do not leave your books. That is surely, definitely. Sure means confirm. Definitely you will grow double. Here the word grow double has double meaning. Double meaning what you think. Double in the sense there is a poetic meaning and then common meaning. So double in the sense if you sit at one place for a long time and keep on reading books, the activity will make you lazy, idle, and you will get fat. In one way we can take that meaning, but here you will grow double to the poet's sense is, according to the poet, is you may lose the reality. You may lose the reality. Because you completely involved in books and started believing what is written in the books. So, according to the poet, you may miss the truth, the reality. That is what the poet says here. Of course, mark these 2 lines in your textbook because the first 2 lines are given as the annotation number 1 in the textbook. And see the last 2 lines of the first stanza. Up is getting up again. Get him up again. Up, my friend, and clear your books. In the first line, he asked him to keep his books aside, to leave his books aside. But here, he again advised him, up, my friend, get up, my friend, and clear your books. It is also a phrase. Here, the phrase clear your looks refers to change your attitude, to change the way you look at the books, to change the belief about the books you have. So here the poet asking his friend to clear his looks. That means ask him to change his attitude. Right? And see the last one. Why all this toil and trouble? Why all this toil and trouble? Here toil means hard work and trouble means struggle and work. According to the poet, when there is an easy way to learn knowledge, there is an easy way to learn knowledge. Why you making yourself worry and why you taking this tension? That means why you are having this struggle and trouble, because book reading requires energy. It requires a mental strength also, because we try to keep our mind to remember more and more things, right? So that's why that is the problem with reading books. Okay, the friend will listen to him and leave the books. And what will be the use? So according to the poet, there is a more knowledge we will get wisdom, knowledge and wisdom from the nature. Because the first time he asked him to leave the books and come with him to enjoy nature. So when you go into the nature, when you start observing the nature, it will provide you better knowledge than the knowledge you get from a book. That is what the poet is saying here. So this is about the first stanza, and let's move on to second one. Let me make it clear for you. And see the second one. I'm going to read. The sun above the mountain's head. The sun above the mountain's head. A freshening luster mellow. A freshening luster mellow. Through all the long green fields has spread. His first sweet evening yellow. So just observe the rhyming. A-B. Oh, what is A-B? Am I teaching the alphabet? No. There is a rhyming here. See the first one. The sun above the mountains. The last word of the first line and the last word of the third line sounds same. Of course, they have different meanings, but the sound same. The sun above the mountain's head. A fresh luster mellow, right? And then through all the long green fields spread, the first sweet evening yellow. Here, the last word of the second line and the last word of the last line sounds same. So these are the rhyme. That is the beauty of the poem. That is called rhyme. So generally these kind of poets written in a separate meter, in separate rhyme. So here, treat the sun above the mountains. So as I said, Wordsworth is an ardent lover of nature. Ardent means completely believe. He is confident. He completely believes in nature. How we believe in God, we generally say, I believe in himself, I believe in God. Like that, he believes in nature. That's why he has the title, the worshipper of nature. See how beautifully one of the sceneries we may miss. Because the point of view of a poet generally different from the common man. The angle is completely different. I'm not talking about the camera angle. The way we look at the things, the way we look at this things. Because whenever I use a word that is familiar with your technology, you just apply it to your life. No, because here we are learning a poem. Here, the meanings are completely different, right? Got it. Let's see. The sun above the mountains. Here we can see. You just imagine a picture. There are mountains here like this, and the sun is shining above the head of the mountains. Can you guess what's the time here? Is it morning? Is it afternoon? Is it evening or night? Night is not completely, it is not related, because we generally see the sun in the sky in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. So here the sun is shining over the mountains. Okay, and a freshening must come yellow. When the sun rays are shining on the surface over the mountain, the snow is shining. The snow is shining. It is glittering. It is glittering. Looks bright. It enhances the color. It enhances. What enhances the color? The sun rays enhances the color of the surface over the mountains. Okay, let's see. A freshening luster mellow. A freshening luster mellow. So because of that light, the surface over the mountains looks very bright. It is the light of the sun is elevating, enhancing. The surface over the head is shining. So that is the beauty. That is the scenery here. See the garden. Through all the long green fields has spread. Through all the long green fields has spread his first sweet evening yellow. So we have an answer here. We have an answer for the question what I have asked at the beginning of this lecture. Is it evening or is it afternoon or is it morning? Yes, confirm. The writer directly says it is a sweet evening yellow. It is a sweet evening yellow. How can we understand the word sweet here? Are we tasting any food item here? No. But here the poet is enjoying the beauty. The beauty is enjoyed by the poet through all the green fields aspect. The sun rays, the color of the sky is yellow there. Sometimes we generally see at the evening time. Sometimes it looks orange, it looks in orange color, and sometimes it looks in yellowish color. Like that here, the sun, the sky, because of the light of the sun, changes the color of the sky is yellow. But here, that yellow color is spreaded over the green fields. Spreaded over the green fields. Actually, the color of the fields are green, but because of the effect, reflection of yellow color of the sky, changes the color, changes the beauty here. Now the green fields appeared in yellow color because of the reflection. Not completely they changed into yellow. We can't imagine that the green plants are completely changed into yellow. Leaves or something. So thus, in the second stanza, he described the beauty of nature. So whatever the matter is, he just presents, the affection and love over his nature is expressed through these lines. So whatever it is, you just remember the meaning of the first stanza because an annotation is given. An annotation is taken from the first two lines. Okay, let's see the next one also. Have you understood? Right. Okay, let us see. I have written the remaining stanzas on the board. We have already completed 2 stanzas so far. And see the third one. I am reading books. You should read books. Here, because there is an exclamation mark. An exclamation mark, as we know, expresses a surprise. So he is fear of books. So he is showing his fear by using this books. It's a dull and endless struggle. Here, a word that is very unfamiliar to our language, our colloquial language. The opposite of this is it is. It means it is. Books, the process of reading, according to a dull and endless work. Obviously, reading more and more books, sitting at one place and reading for a long time makes us dull. That's why he said it's a dull and endless struggle. According to the poet, book reading makes one dull, and it is a strife. It is a strife. Strife means a fight with an enemy, an endless fight with an enemy, and also useless. A useless and an endless fight with an enemy. Here we can, according to the poet, reading books and expecting knowledge from the books is like a long fight with an enemy, and that is also an useless fight also. So that is what the particular line is. Come, hear the woodland. Come, hear woodland, the woodland. So he invites his friend. He invites his friend to come with him and hear. He asks him to hear. What his friend has to hear here? Hear. That is the woodland. It is the linnet. The woodland linnet. The linnet is a bird. It's a color grey color bird that we generally find in UK. It has a capability of singing. That means it can make beautiful sounds. It can sing like a cuckoo. Right? So here the poet requests his friend to hear the woodland, the linnet that is singing in the woodland. Woodland means where there are number of trees. You can simply say forest. Come here, the woodland. How sweet is music on my life. The poet is saying that the music or the sounds made by the linnet bird are very sweet. So there is a beautiful music. There is a beautiful music in the sound of the linnet. How sweet is music. There is more of wisdom. There is more of wisdom in it. Here the poet says that you can get a better knowledge through nature than a knowledge what you get from the book. The knowledge that is provided by the nature is superior to the knowledge that you get from a book. Here we just understand knowledge and wisdom is two different words. Knowledge, in the sense by reading books or by listening something, we can grasp information and we can make our mind to prepare what is right and what is wrong, and where it happened, when it happened. But wisdom makes you think we are right now. If a person has wisdom, he knows what is right and what is wrong. It helps you to take right decisions in real life. So here we will get a practical experience, a practical knowledge from nature. So that is what Mr. Wordsworth says here. Mr. Wordsworth says here. So we will have wisdom. Of course, you get knowledge by reading books. The poet is not denied the fact that getting knowledge from books, because this is also, the poem is also printed in a book only. Printed in a book only. If you want to learn about these things, we have to open a book. That's all. But the nature provides you wisdom. It is beyond intelligence. It is beyond knowledge. So finally, the song of a bird can teach you more than a book. That is what here the poet says. And how sweet is music on my life. There is more wisdom in it. So we can simply say the meaning is, the song of a bird has wisdom than a knowledge from you. There is, you can say simply. That's about the fourth stanza. Third stanza. So here you need to mark the first two lines. Books, it's a dull and endless strife. Come here, woodland here. And these are the two lines are given as annotation number 2 in your textbook. And please remember these two lines are different. And come to the next stanza, stanza number 4. And heart. Heart means stop there. And heart. How blithe. It is also a bird. It is also a bird generally found in UK, United Kingdom. So here the limnet belongs to finch family. So here the finch family birds has a capability of making good songs. They have the capability of singing. So like that, a blithe is also belongs to the same family, but it is different. And how blithe the throstle sings. Here blithe, so not the throstle. We need to remember throstle is the word, throstle is the word. Here blithe means without any hesitation, without any anxiety, without knowing of his surroundings, his daily. So how blithe, how unanxiously the throstle sings. The throstle sings. He too is no mean a preacher. The sound made by the bird throstle is better than a preacher. But don't think that a preacher is a singer. No, not at all. A preacher is a member of clergyman, who generally performs religious ceremonies and gives religious talks in the churches. So who gives the bird, by listening to the music made by the bird throstle, gives better knowledge than a preacher can give you. It is no mean a preacher means it is better than a preacher. Of course, a bird cannot give a religious talk like a preacher, but there is more wisdom in it. There is more wisdom in the song of the bird throstle. And not only the throstle, but also woodland limnet. So finally he says, from hearing the sounds, mellow sounds gives knowledge. There is so much of knowledge we can learn, like humanity good and evil from nature. We can learn many things like humanity, good as well as evil from a tree or from a bird. This is what here the poet Mr. Wordsworth was saying. Come forth into the light of the things. Come forth. He is asking to come forward into the light of the things. So by reading books, your knowledge is limited. You are in dark. So my dear friend, just come out of the darkness and come into the light of the things. Just learn the reality. There is so much knowledge in nature. That is what he wants to tell to his friend. There is so much of knowledge in nature. And let nature be your teacher. Let nature be your teacher. So he asked his friend to select the nature be your teacher. Once you select nature as your teacher, you will be enlightened. You will be enlightened. So that's why he strongly believes that, he confidently says that nature gives more knowledge than a book. The knowledge what we get from the book is not superior to knowledge what we get from nature. Right? So this is about the two standards. And let's move on to the next one. She has a world of readiness. She has a world of readiness. So nature is filled with knowledge, complete knowledge and wisdom. So she has a world of ready wealth. Here, so there is a contrast. If you want to know about something for different subjects, if you want to know about maths, you have to take the book maths. And if you want to know about science, you have to take science. But here, there is no problem with the nature. She has ready-made knowledge. It has a wealth. Nature has a treasure of knowledge. Knowledge treasure. It is filled with, nature is filled with knowledge. Our minds are not too blessed. How can nature bless us? Nature will bless our hearts and minds. Hearts and minds. That means it provides you happy and peace. It provides you cheerfulness and peace. You can get relief by spending some time in nature. Because nowadays many people do not have time to go outside and enjoy the nature. They are busy with their books. They are busy with books like you. They always pondered over how to get ranks, how to get job, how to get lucrative job. Their tender minds are completely filled with such kind of thoughts. But here he provides a solution. He provides a solution. So select the nature. Allow the nature to be your teacher. Because she has a wealth of knowledge. She has a treasure, knowledge treasure, and nature will bless our minds and hearts with his wealth. Here wealth means knowledge. And spontaneous wisdom breathed by her, truth breathed by cheerfulness. Thus we can simply say the word spontaneous means which comes suddenly. Which comes suddenly. The wisdom breathed by her. So we can be healthy by being happy. If you want to be fit, be happy. That kind of pleasure will be provided by the nature. And truth breathed by cheerfulness. By being happy, you will also know the truth. That means you will learn many things like humanity, good as well as evil also. The practical experience you will get from the nature. It will teach us it will guide you in a right manner. So by looking at a tree, By watching the beauty, by listening to the music of birds, we can learn so many things. That is what our words of belief, and that is what he wants to tell his friend. So the knowledge of nature, the knowledge that will be provided, that is provided by nature, is superior to the knowledge what we get from a book. So that's about the third stanza. And come to the next one. Stanza number 6. One impulse from a vernal mood. The vernal means related to spring. Hope you already understood the meaning of spring, because it is a name of a season. Spring is a season that generally appears in the months of March and April, before the summer. And in this duration, in the time of spring season, the nature looks beautiful. The trees blossom flowers and they give fruits also. So here one impulse, a strong hit from a vernal wood may teach you more of your life. Here we can understand a tree can teach you better than a book. By observing tree, we can learn. What we can learn? Take an example. We can learn an unselfish love, an unconditional love. We can see from a tree. How? Because a tree can give you freely, can give his fruits, his branches, his leaves, and his roots also. So everything is used. We can use everything of the tree. But has any tree asked you to plant another one? No. So that is called unconditional. So by watching tree, we can learn. From a tree, we can learn unconditional love. So this is the knowledge we can learn from nature. And this kind of knowledge is we may not get from the books. And it may teach you more of man, of more evil and of good than all the sages can. Here, sage means a wise man. A wise man. Valmiki is a sage. Vishwamitra, these are the characters generally see in epics, not holy books, Ramayana, Mahabharata. So, a nature can provide you the knowledge and it can teach you more things regarding man, moral, evil, and of good than a sage can. It provides you superior knowledge than a sage. It will teach you better than a sage. A sage means a wise man. Come to the next one. Sweet is the lure which nature brings, or meddling effect misshapes the beauteous forms of things. We murder to dissect. Just see this one. Sweet is the lore. Lore means a traditional story, a story or a knowledge which nature brings. The story or the knowledge that nature brings is very sweet, very helpful. Okay? And our meddling in that. So, as we are human beings, by reading books, we will become intellectual. We will get some knowledge. That intellectual wisdom will take you in a wrong, will make you think in a wrong perspective. Will make you think in a wrong perspective. Meddling means involves. Intellect means intelligence, misshapes the human mind, misshapes because of the knowledge from the books. We can dissect, we can distract the things, we can divide the things in parts because men are different from one another. We think when many people see the same thing, it will be understood by them in a different way. Of course, you are listening, most of you are listening, the people who are listening to my class may understand in different perspectives, right? So it is understood for someone in a different manner and someone will understand this one in another manner. So like that, our meddling intellect misshapes the beauteous form of things. So nature has plenty of beauteous things. But here we change them, we break them, we part them as parts. We can split them as parts because of our negative thinking or because of our differences in our perspectives. The way we look at it is completely misguided by the muddling. We murder to dissect. So we murder to dissect. Dissect means cut something in parts. Cut something into different parts. Here, what we are cutting? We are cutting with beauteous shapes. Why we are doing that? Because our meddling intellect will make us do. So there is the nature's beauty is sweet, but we are misshaping them. We are spoiling the beauty with our intellect. So leave that kind of attitude. Change your attitude. Change your way you look at the things. If you select the nature as your teacher, the way you look at the things is completely changed. You will think in a different perspective, a real perspective, what the writer is saying here. And come to the last stanza. Enough of science and enough art. Close up those bare leaves. Come forth and bring with you a heart that watches and receives. That watches and receives. And in the final stanza, we have an annotation also. Enough of science and of art. Close up of those bare leaves. These two lines are given as annotation number 4 in the textbook. Enough of science and art. In the concluding stanza, the writer finally says that enough of science and art. He asked him to leave the subjects. Close up those values here. The value means useless. Bad means faded, futile. You're not able to grow. The land which is not able to grow plants. And here we can understand bad means pages of a book. Pages of a book. Pages of a book. So the knowledge what we can get from a book is useless. That's why he asked him to leave. It's enough. It's enough. What the knowledge you get from the books is enough. And close up those futile pages, futile knowledge. Come forward, and bring with you. Come with me, but you should bring something with you. That is, bring with you a heart that watches and receives. You come into the nature with a broad mind. You come into the nature with broad mind, with a heart that receives and watches. That receives and watches. Because if one do not prepare mentally to do a new thing, he may not enjoy. He may not enjoy the new thing. So that's why here the poet asked his friend to come with him a heart that watches and receives. Come with a beautiful heart that will allow you to receive the knowledge and wisdom that will be bestowed on you by the nature. So this is about the meaning of the poem, The Table's Turn. And there are two questions given and four annotations are also given in the textbook, and prepare well. So while you are watching this video, you may get this video through a YouTube link, and we will provide you the complete notes about the annotations and questions that are given at the end of the textbook. Prepare well and read them twice and don't waste your time. So finally we can conclude the poem. Finally he says that nature is the best teacher than a book. It is not denying the fact that of course we get the knowledge, it is inevitable, but the knowledge what we get from the nature is superior to the knowledge from a book. So here the poem is about the importance of nature. Importance of nature. And he asked his friend to leave the books and come along with him to observe things in nature. Because and as an ardent lover of nature, he believes that nature is the best teacher. And nature provides you much knowledge than a sage and a priest. Sage and a preacher. And we can learn more from the nature, that is like humanity, good as well as evil. So everything is learned, and you will have a practical guidance by the nature. And this is the essence of the essay, The Table's Turn. I hope you understand well. If you have any doubts regarding this poem, you may contact me and read your questions well. And all the best. Thank you for watching.